YouTube, Tone again. Just a quick recap on last week in gaming and stuff. On Tuesday night I finished off the Pathfinder campaign. Well, sorry, not the campaign, the adventure, which is first part of the Carrying Crown adventure path, called The Haunting the Harrowstone. And it takes the characters into the town of Ravengo, and they find out some bad forces are at work, shall we say. It sort of ultimately ends in a dungeon crawl through the old abandoned and now haunted Harrowstone jail, which housed several of the worst inmates imaginable. A bit of a dungeon crawl, and this adventure path really brought in the idea of haunts to the fore of pre-written adventures, if you like. I think it's the first one that makes exclusive use of them. Most of the main things they deal with in the prison are haunts, and they introduce a couple of new little toys for the characters to play with. Haunt siphons, for example. These are sort of crystal vials. Imagine them to be, and we always referred back to the Ghostbuster traps. Pretty much, they pull out the vial, uncork it, or sort of release the cap, and it's the mechanic is a 3d6 roll, and that does 3d6 damage to the haunts. The haunts have got hit points, and if basically each time they roll a 3d6, the haunt loses some energy, goes into the vial, they cap the vial, and they can store it. They'd have to use another vial if they didn't quite kill it that time, or get rid of it by some other means. If they get rid of it by other means, there is a chance of the haunt coming back, sometimes, depending on how it's been created. They're pretty cool. Once the haunt siphon's filled up, they can be used as a sort of a hand grenade type device, if you like. So they can be thrown onto the floor and create a big explosion of negative energy, I believe. They never used that mechanic though as the hand grenades. They'd been put off doing that through other things that have happened to them. So they've just stored them for now. So I'll try and get a sort of a good overview, sort of review of the whole adventure done, possibly in this video. I might save it for another video, because I want to do this as just a sort of a recap video really on the week, a vlog, if you will, like I've been doing the last few weeks. So I've had this week off work, hence the beard. Not having to shave for work or anything. So I've been mainly either sitting at the PC playing games or going out and about to see what's out in the world. On the gaming front, Steam have got their sale on, as I mentioned in my last video, I believe. Picked up some good bargains. Just picked up Dirt 3. Also picked up another copy of that and sent it to my mate as a birthday present. I think it's his birthday this month. He said thanks anyway. So, I don't know. Beat Hazard is amazing still. What else have I got here? Just fire up the Steam library. We got. I don't know if I've mentioned it before. I've got the Assassin's Creed pack, which includes all the Assassin's Creeds. That was like, I don't know, 15 quid or something for all three of the games. Got Beat Hazard, Bit Trip Runner. I think they were like a couple of quid each. I picked up Cities XL 2011 edition. That was about £5. And that's like a SimCity game. I always loved the SimCity games for some reason. Don't know why. Just always did. But I still haven't fired that one up because I haven't had the chance really to sit down and have a good look. It looks really good. It's a slightly different take on SimCity. I think there's a lot more mayoral decisions to make in that game. You know, about town planning and you know, transport links and stuff like that. I don't know why it interests me. I'm not a town planner at all. I'm an IT technician, so maybe it's just a change as good as the rest, I suppose. Just quickly looking through, I've not even sort of installed half of what I bought probably. I got the Dungeon Siege pack 1, 2 and 3. 1 doesn't work too well, 2 I didn't load yet, and 3 I've only fired up for about an hour. Look good, looks the same as the other 2 though, and I only played the first one like back when it was released, so that was many years ago now. It doesn't seem to run too well on my you know, sort of newer computer, if you like. I've had this computer 6 years. It's very, you know, very much in need of a reinstall. Well, sorry, not reinstall, a complete makeover, which I'll have to give it when I get some money. What else we got here? Global Agenda, that's like a free-to-play thing that Steam are doing now. Not really tried it yet. I think it's sort of an espionage MMO. Should be alright. I'm not sure on that. Don't take my word on that one. I just downloaded it because it was, you know, it's free to play. We got Hamilton's Great Adventure. That's like a new school platformer, if you like. It's top down, sort of a top down isometric viewpoint, and you're an old adventurer, you know, sort of doing these flashbacks to his adventure in past, and he's telling his granddaughter the story of his adventures. And it's very much a platform game with lots of traps and, you know, falling away floors and stuff like that to work your way around. It's very sort of puzzle game, if you like, puzzle platformer. Yeah, sums it up pretty well. Very good, entertaining little game now. I think I've spent a couple of hours on that at least. Just have a quick look. Yeah, so 72 minutes played so far on it, and I think I've done about 8 levels or so. Magica, that's a strange one. You're like a little mage type guy. Very characterful game, but I've had I don't know, some issues with the interface really. But the cool thing is you have the elements to conjure up spells with. I'm sure it's all preset, a bit like the old Dungeon Master game. I don't know if you ever played that, where you had to create your own spells with the different components. So this is very much the same. So if you combine, for example, fire and earth, you get a fireball. Stuff like that. It's pretty entertaining. I only spent a few minutes on it because something happened, and I went through the first intro sort of level, if you like, where you go through the dungeons because your classmates play a trick on you basically, and you fall down and you got to work your way back up, and it sort of teaches you the game. But I think I exited it. I couldn't see a save point at all or anything like that, so I'll have to read up and see what the save points are. But I loaded it up again and it had lost all my stuff, and it's right back at the beginning, so I was a bit fed up about it. Anyway, still got the Mass Effects to play through. I bought them a while back though. Mass Effect 3's coming out soon, and I think Seth Green's doing some of the voices, so that'd be cool. You know, he's saying it lives up to his expectation. He's a bit of a gamer himself, so sort of I'll take his word for that at the moment. The first game is amazing. I still haven't played my way through that yet. It's very not really hardcore sci-fi, but it's proper sci-fi game. If you like your proper sci-fi, I recommend picking those up. I think they're out for all the platforms now, so especially, well, it's Xbox and PC definitely, possibly the PS3 as well. What else we got here? I've got Ruse, which is sort of a World War II. I don't know. You got to trick your opponent. It's a bit like Desert Fox and Montgomery in the desert sort of thing, but on the whole, on all theatres, if you like. So you're trying to make out that you're putting your tanks in over there, where they're actually just like sort of cardboard copy cut out things, and you know, and your real force is going over the other flank, for example. I've not fired it up, but I've installed it. I've seen, you know, watched lots of YouTube videos and that, and it looked like something I wanted to pick up, but I didn't want to pay the £20 to £30 they wanted. and it came up for a tenner with I think it was all the DLC included as well, something like that. It was £10, so I picked it up. Can't go wrong there. Yeah, all these little £10 add up though, unfortunately. Got Solar 2, which is a little sandboxy game, free roam, couple of quid it was. You know, it's one of these indie games, but you start off as an asteroid, I think, and you sort of bash into other asteroids to get mass, and then you turn into a star, and a sun, and then you get more and more mass. It's pretty cool, and then you go around sort of collecting up other planets and turning them into stars and collecting more planets, and then you evolve those planets, and you get like little spaceships come out eventually when they've evolved to a certain level. Of course, that evolution is really fast because you're thinking in planetary time, not human time, if you see what I mean. So evolution takes literally a minute or something, and they got spacecrafts. It really reminded me of the Terry Pratchett and the Trees. If you've ever read, I can't remember what novel it is, one of these first ones, and time goes very differently for trees, and he gets that from a bit of a thumbs up to Lord of the Rings, J.R.R. Tolkien there. And the trees are very slow, and the mayflies are very, very fast and stuff like that. And we're the mayflies, and the planets are the trees. So we've got Super Meat Boy. That's another manic platformer. This crazy little square of meat, like cube of meat, which I found quite funny. It's pretty horrible because whenever he jumps and hits a wall or something, it splats, and you can see where you've been because there's just blood dripping everywhere. It's pretty mank, but it's quite a tricky little platformer, like a puzzle platformer again, but proper side-scrolling one this time. Vertical and horizontal scrolling one, not 3D isometric or anything like that. Very, very fast. Very what can I call it? I'm not very good at them, so I've mashed the buttons on the control. I use a 360 controller on a USB cable on my PC, and it's great for platformers and stuff like that. I'm not great at platformers, but it just it's what I grew up with, I suppose, on the old systems. But yeah, well, I'm out of practice, put it that way. What else we got here? Yeah, I'm not sure I bought anything else, to be honest, but I probably have. I just haven't installed it, and therefore, I don't really know. It's just I've got a lot of stuff in my library now. But I've been playing a lot of Warcraft again, World of Warcraft. My mate totally out of the blue sprung a 3-month subscription on me. I don't know, I think it's through the Amazon Help a Bro program, if you like, through Indigo Starfish. Yeah, I've just got like a Jiffy bag land on my doorstep, and it had a game card in it. So I've been playing that, and had a game with him on Thursday night, I think it was. Playing with his brother on Wednesday night. We've done some arenas and lost loads, and I think we won about 2. But yeah, I've made a little character up to run around with my mate as soon as he's been really generous and sent me a 3 months gift certificate for it. I've made a little level where I think he's level 16 actually, so don't tell my mate that. I think he's level 15, but I'm pretty fast at leveling WoW characters. I've had a lot of time in the game, put it that way. But I hadn't played it for a couple of months, and so I'm a bit out of touch, but it all comes flooding back to you pretty quickly. Right, what are we doing for time? 14 minutes just hit. So I'll probably... Oh yeah, I've been working on some more models. Well, not more models. I've got into airbrushing again, and I finally sorted out a wet palette as well. A wet palette is... well, this is what my one looks like. Just a sort of a clip it Tupperware container with 2 SpongeTech sponges. Can you see the pink and the yellow ones in there? And then on top of that you lay a bit of it's just baker's parchment, sort of that sort of waxy baker's parchment that you put in the oven, which is cheap as chips, 80p for a roll of it in Morrison's. I've got all this in Morrison's probably for I know around about £5, and you've got a wet palette. I think if you buy the privateer press one, it's about 15 quid. Anyway, and that enables you to. I'm just looking in here now, and I can't really tip it up because it's you know, it's wet. But basically, yeah, on top of the parchment, you can just put your acrylic paint or whatever paint you, well, yeah, acrylic paint because it's water-based, or water-based oils, for example. You can just you know, drop them out onto there. I've got all mine in these little sort of droppers that I've that's a Katashan green from Citadel paint, you know, Games Workshop paint. But I just I pre-dilute my paint if I can, which was a little bit of a mistake actually, but because some are a bit different than others, you know, and they have different dilution levels, and I did it 50-50, just and I should have played around a little bit, but some are a little bit runny, some are a little bit thick, so you know, some are perfect. But anyway, so I can just drop it onto the palette. I only need like one drop, and the beauty of it is acrylic dries up over time because it's water based, and it evaporates and then dries, and it's like it's made of plastic basically, so when it's dry it's rock hard and completely useless. You can't go back to it, you can't dissolve it again and reuse it like a watercolour, or indeed oil. You know, you can sometimes get away with oil by adding a bit of you know, spirit to it, but with acrylics, once it's dry, which is you know, a benefit or a hindrance to you. So wet palette basically lets you plonk your paint on the palette, and because it's wet and sealed, it will retain the moisture, so it won't dry out so fast, and it saves you putting retarder in it and stuff like that, which gives it a sort of sometimes a horrible consistency. If you put it in the fridge, it will last even longer than that, I've heard, but I haven't got any room in my fridge, so I'm not about to put paint in there. It's a, you know, it's a sort of communal fridge, so yeah, I don't want someone to start eating my paint palette. But anyway, so yeah, really useful. But then I also dug out my old Badger 200 siphon fed airbrush, and I've spent couple of days trying to fix it. Not whole days, obviously, I'm not that sad, but I bought a new first of all I'll give it a really good clean because it was pretty filthy actually. I think because last time I used it I was fed up with it, and that's why I haven't really revisited it. But I dropped the trigger down a bloody sink, and that went down the plug hole. Can't be bothered to fish it out because it's probably in the U-bend, but it probably, the trigger cost 7 quid, and it probably cost me a tenner in plastic bits to fix the bloody U-bend after I took it off. So cut my losses and ordered up a new trigger for it, so that's great. It's got a nice, much bigger button on it now, so it don't kill your finger when you're pressing it. But it's still splattering, like it goes tss, tss, like that sort of thing. And it's been doing that since day one, and I did a bit of reading, and I've tried all the fixes that are suggested on the Badger site and a couple of forums, and it's basically, now it could be the nozzle, or it could be actually, what did I buy? I bought a there's like a little bearing in there. It's like a little bit of plastic with a hole in it and they charge you £5 for it. It's a lifetime guarantee, but with Badger you got to send it to the States to get it fixed, and that will cost me like 15 quid. So I bought the thing for a £5 mug and put it in, and yeah, it's a lot tighter now. The needle's really tight and stuff, but it's still bloody splattering. So I might cut my losses on it and just, you know, give it up as a bad job. But I could try changing the tip and the needle, and that's probably another tenner. You know, a brand new one I can get shipped from the States for bloody $45 or something, 45 quid, sorry. You know, it's about $80 I suppose, plus postage, and you know, I just think, is it worth it? I think a brand new one of those in UK is £80, so you know, I cut my losses anyway. And anyway, I got fed up with it, and at the same time I was ordering my trigger, I ordered a new Badger airbrush, and it's the 100 with the large cup, and it is lovely. I'll not say it's perfect because I did get the fine tip, and maybe that was a bit of a mistake on my part because I'm not that good at using it. and my paint is just, you know, off the shelf GW paint thinned down. Actually, yeah, I popped to the model shop and bought this is a guy called Hannants, and luckily for me, they're one of the biggest model shops in the UK, and they got an actual little sort of trade counter which just down the road from me in Colindale, and I ordered this from their Ipswich warehouse. It's a lovely looking airbrush. Got this great big tail on it. And you take that off, you know, that's the actual airbrush. This is just a weight counterbalance, but you know, really nice. It's got a nice little clutch there that doesn't. The clutch on this one is just one dial. This has got a double knurled nut, which is completely separate from the tightened down knurled nut, so it doesn't all move away. And this one is also dual action. You've got the sort of the rocker on the trigger, which increases or decreases flow. It's a fine tip point. And yeah, it's really nice. I mean, paint goes through it, but you've got to thin it quite, you know, far down, and that takes a bit of getting practice, a little bit of practice with, because thin paint has a tendency to just throw out on top of your work. But I think I've got it under control now. Just started painting, like spray painting, this Lehman Rust demolisher tank that I've got. And yeah, it's working pretty well. I'm getting there anyway. I think it's just a matter of me working out thinner to paint ratios, seeing as I've already thinned down my paint. You know, it's a bit tricky. And these extra acrylic thinners are, I think they're based on sort of a nail varnish remover rather than pure water. It's probably watered down nail varnish remover, to be honest. Other people use sort of window cleaner, like I think you guys call it Windex over in the States, and you know, over here we just Windoline or something like that, or screen wash for the car. Screen wash, you know, that blue stuff you put in your car. A screen wash bottle. That makes excellent thinner as well. And I think I found a bottle of that downstairs, so I must have used it in the past. But I've got these proper thinners anyway, and we'll see how we get on. I'm going to try Windoline because I bought this airbrush cleaner Jollop, and I mean, that's quite a lot. That's 32 fluid ounces. I think that's about 200 mil, 600 mil. I can't. Probably 600 mil. 600 mil that is, I guess. And it was about a tenner, and that's like the cheapy one. Because this one's about £3, but it's a spray. It's so much stronger. It cuts through most, even like really dried on stuff. It just cuts it out. Some new products I'm trying. A bit of grey primer from Vallejo. It's really nice stuff, but it's acrylic polyurethane. So I think, I mean, I've been thinning it with. Apparently, you don't have to thin it. I've seen Scale Model Medic on YouTube. I think I've seen him use it neat, but he's a lot more experienced than I am. He's probably got a wider nozzle than I have as well on his airbrush, so he has no trouble at all in just spraying it on neat. But I've been thinning it down, say 50% maybe, and I'm getting better results out of my airbrush. But yeah, it's got that tendency to just throw, you know, a lot, not uncontrolled way, but because it's really watery, I'm putting too much on. Basically, is what I'm trying to sort of get across. It's not this new airbrush's fault in any means. That's a constant flow. It's just my control over it is a bit useless at the moment, but I'm having some good results. I mean, that was grey plastic, and now it's a sort of a lighter grey plastic, but that is the primer, and it's really nice. It needs to cook on though, I found. So I was a bit hasty in painting the tank. I only left it for a couple of hours. I think it probably could do with overnight just to cook on, and because it's probably self-etching or something, so it's going to be a nightmare to get off if you had to. But it leaves a nice little base for the colour to go on top. I think that's about it really. I'm coming up to 25 minutes now, so quite a long video from me. Nice little recap video. Next one will more than likely be the Haunting the Harrowstone adventure for the Carrying Crown Adventure Path from Paizo Publishing. I'll do a sort of GM's view on that one. I'll try and add in some of the anecdotes from it as well, hopefully, and I'll get that out soon. Not sure when. Maybe later today if I'm bored. We're not sure what the weather's doing at the minute, and it's Silverstone qualifying I've got on the telly there. So the Silverstone Grand Prix on this weekend, so I might have a bit of time in between other stuff. Okay, so we'll see how we get on, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.